for Sonam Wangchuk. The MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs, has acted against Sonam Wangchuk, scrapping foreign funding license to him. This is the latest that is coming in as far as the actions taken by Home Ministry with respect to the violence that was brewing in Leh over the course of a couple of hours yesterday, resulting in death of 4 people is concerned. The government, remember, blamed squarely Sonam Wangchuk for the troubles that were created as a result of his activism, said that he was responsible for the sentiments of the people, for the furor that erupted in Leh. And acting on his NGO now, the Ministry of Home Affairs has scrapped foreign funding license for his NGO. My colleague Brijesh Pandey joining us live. Brijesh, this was expected. The government was already scrutinizing the license, was scrutinizing his NGO, has found in fact violation and scrapped the FCRA license.
Well, absolutely, and you were just discussing it almost 15-20 minutes back as how the entire expenses of Sonam Wangchuk and his NGO is under intense government scrutiny. And what we have been given to understand is by this division, by this order of Ministry of Home Affairs, which is in my hand, there are 3 to 4 transactions, Shweta, which was under scrutiny, and the government seeked a detailed reply from the NGO, which is in the name of Student Educational and Cultural Movement of Ladakh, which is referred to as the association, and they asked him about the amount of 3,35,000, and the government did not agree with the fact that the stated position of or the reply of the NGO was in absolute violation of the FCRA Act 17. Then there were talk about how local donors had submitted money in the FCRA account, which was not allowed and was deemed to be in violation of rule number 17 of the FCRA. The NGO said that it was done inadvertently several times. The local people local donations by mistake sent to the FCRA. The government, the Ministry of Home Affairs held that also as a violation of the FCRA rule. And I think the third one, and perhaps the most interesting one, is 4,93,205 rupees worth of donation, which was received by one of the NGO, and it was for the educational programs for youth under the FE project. And I would seek your attention, creating awareness among youth on issues such as migration, and many others, also included sovereignty of the state. Now, what the ministry is finding, which is the Home Ministry is finding, is association in its reply have admitted that the donor organization has given the donation for study on sovereignty of the country, including some other topics, and the fund has also been spent in line with the objectives of the foreign donors. The foreign contribution cannot be accepted for study on sovereignty of the nation, and the Home Ministry went on to say that the act of the association is against the national interest of the country in violation of section 12(4)(f) subsections 1 of the act. And they have also talked about 19,600 rupee violation of the FCRA violation. Now, the amount in its own doesn't tend to amount to be a huge amount, but the fact of the matter is that the government is saying that the stated
Sonam Wangchuk is speaking at the moment. Let's quickly cut across.
बहुत दुखी हैं, पूरा लद्दाख दुखी है कि इन माओं के बच्चे खो गए, और उसके बाद फिर हम आरोप प्रत्यारोप का ये खेल खेलें, ये अच्छा नहीं लगता। ये बहुत दुख की बात है कि हम अपने सर से जिम्मेदारी हटाकर किसी, जैसे कहते हैं ना, स्केप गोट, बलि का बकरा बना के उस पे मर दें। ऐसा खेल हमें नहीं खेलना चाहिए। ये चतुराई ज़रूर है मगर समझदारी नहीं है। क्लेवर मूव बट नॉट विजडम। इस समय हमें विजडम की ज़रूरत है। हम साथ में बैठ के सोचें कि इन बच्चों की क्या ऐसी विवशता थी कि वो सड़कों पे इस तरह से निकल आए, और उसे सुलझाएं तो सब सुलझेगा। ये सीमा शांत होगी, ये देश प्रगति करेगा, ना कि हम इसने किया उसने किया, मैंने कुछ नहीं किया, मैं तो अच्छा हूँ बोलें। क्योंकि सच्चाई ये है कि ये बच्चे बहुत परेशान से थे। आज ही नहीं, 2 महीने से नहीं, 5 सालों से, बल्कि 6 सालों से ये अनएम्प्लॉयड थे, जॉबलेस, और इनके जो अरमान थे कि लोकतंत्र होगा नए लद्दाख में, वो भी नहीं हुए, कि संरक्षण होगा 6वें शेड्यूल में, वो भी नहीं हुए। बातचीत घसीटते जा रहे थे, नतीजा कुछ नहीं निकल रहा था। अब मुझ पे दोष देने लगे थे यही युवा कि आपका शांति का पथ किसी काम का नहीं है, अपनी शांति आप अपने साथ, एक मिनट, आप अपनी शांति का पथ अपने साथ रखिएगा, हम अपने हाथ में लेंगे, ऐसा मुझे बुरा भला कहने लग चुके थे। तो ये बहुत दुर्भाग्य की बात है, सबसे बड़ी बात ये हम माने, और अभी इनकी लाशें वही हैं और इस पे हम आरोप प्रत्यारोप। आप सोचिए, क्या ये अच्छा लगता है किसी भी देश में कि सरकार किसी एक को चुन के, किसी एक पार्टी को इसने किया, और जो कमियां हमसे रह गई इस गवर्नेंस में, इस सिस्टम में, उनको हम बिल्कुल नज़रअंदाज कर दें तो फिर दोबारा ये उठेगा।
All right, there you have it. Sonam Wangchuk speaking on his behalf, Brijesh, very calmly they're saying that while the blame game may be tactful, it is not wise, and wisdom is what we need. But, you know, referring back to what the government is saying essentially that Sonam Wangchuk continues to project himself as a representative of people's cause, but the records, the financial misconduct suggest otherwise. His actions are risking the derailing of constructive dialogue between the people of Leh and the government.
Well, I think, you know, what the government is doing is the government is working on two-pronged strategy. They believe that Sonam Wangchuk is the person who is behind the unrest and the violence which we saw yesterday in Leh, where few people were killed, several injured, you know, buses and other vehicles were damaged, property was set on fire, BJP's office was set on fire, and they believe that he is the one who is responsible behind it. What the government is now trying to do is, as has been stated by the MHA, you know, detailed reply on why his FCRA license was cancelled. There are several other source-based information, you know, Shweta, which is coming out, and I would like to read out for our viewers, you know, what the sources in the government are saying. That you know, that there was this Himalayan Institute of Alternatives Ladakh, and the donation contribution which was received by the entity increased significantly from 6 crore rupees during the annual year 23-24 to more than 15 crore rupees during 24 to 25. Now, what they're saying is that there's almost a double hike. More than 100% hike as far as the donation to foreign funding to his NGO is concerned. What they're also saying is that, you know, that there are 7 accounts of HIAL, out of which 4 are not declared by them, and they are saying that they have received huge foreign remittance of more than 1.5 crores without FCRA registration. They're also saying that, you know, that huge amount of 6.5 crore has been transferred from HIAL to Sheshoyan Innovations Private Limited. So
stay with us on that note. Stay with us, Brijesh. We believe Sonam Wangchuk is also addressing that issue.
रेवोल्यूशन का भी एग्जाम्पल दिया, जिसमें उग्र प्रदर्शन किए गए, हिंसक प्रदर्शन किए गए, नेपाल के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर डेंट कराया गया, नेपाल की डेमोक्रेसी खतरे में आ गई। तमाम आरोप और उस तरीके की बात को आप इंडोर्स करते हैं?
नहीं, ऐसा मत कहिए, इंडोर्स करते। जब ये हो चुका था, पहली बात तो कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि आपने ऐसा कह के इंसाइट किया। जब ये हो चुका था, मैंने तब एक अपडेट दिया जिसमें मैंने कहा कि ये हिंसा निंदनीय है, शब्द था निंदनीय है, मैं बहुत दुखी हूँ, इससे आप हमारा समर्थन नहीं बल्कि हमारी बदनामी कर रहे हैं। और फिर मैंने कहा कि ये अचानक से बिना किसी पहले के उसके अचानक से ऐसे हज़ारों में युवा निकल गए, मानो जैसे जेनजी रेवोल्यूशन सा हो, ऐसा एक शब्द निकल गया। वैसे मैं जेनजी प्रयोग नहीं करता हूँ, अब ये बच्चे खुद को करते हैं तो इसलिए शायद मेरे मुंह से निकला, वरना हमें जेनजी से इतना छूत-अछूत भी नहीं होना चाहिए। ऐसा कोई शब्द में तो बुराई नहीं है, पता नहीं कुछ लोगों को इतना क्यों लगता है, मैं भी यूज़ नहीं करता हूँ, मगर कल ये मैंने सिर्फ इसका वर्णन करते हुए कहा, ऐसा एक हालात हो गया लद्दाख में जिससे हम सब दुखी हैं। ये होने के बाद का अपडेट है, आप जाके देख सकते हैं।
आपने कभी ऐसा लद्दाख देखा था?
नहीं भी नहीं कहूँगा। जब हम जम्मू कश्मीर में थे तो यूटी का मांग करते हुए ऐसा ही एक हिंसक आंदोलन हुआ था 89 में, 89 में, मगर इस हद का नहीं था। ये बहुत ही अजीब अंदाज का, यहाँ कोई नहीं रोक पा रहा था। आपको पता है, आज हमारे जो एपेक्स बॉडी है लद्दाख की, उसका यूथ विंग, उनके लीडर्स को धरपकड़ कर रही है सरकार, घरों से जाके उनको पकड़ रहे हैं। सच्चाई ये है कि वो बेचारे जाकर गाड़ियों से, लाउड स्पीकर से उनको मनाने की कोशिश कर रहे थे कि आप ये मत कीजिए, हमारा काम ये नहीं है, मगर उन पे ही पथराव होने का डर था। ऐसे ही हमारे वरिष्ठ नेता थुप्तन जी और त्सेरिंग जी भी वहाँ गए मैदान में उनको रोकने के लिए। कोई किसी की सुन ही नहीं रहा था, पागलपन सा, भूत सा सवार था उन पे।
तो वांगचुक साहब, किसी को गिरफ्तार ना किया जाए, किसी को अकाउंटेबल ना बनाया जाए, किसी के ऊपर अकाउंटेबिलिटी फिक्स ना किए जाए, कहा जाए कि ये सरकार की गलती है?
नहीं, ऐसा तो नहीं। हिंसा को तो हम कभी भी सही नहीं ठहरा सकते हैं। कानून को अपना रास्ता लेना चाहिए, कोर्स लॉ जो कहते हैं। तो जो गलत हैं उन्हें सज़ा होनी चाहिए, मगर साथ ही साथ मैं कहूँगा जो फोर्सेस हैं, सहानुभूति है उनके साथ भी कि पथराव हुआ, उन्हें भी लगा होगा, मगर उन्होंने जिस तरह से सर में लोगों के दिमाग निकाल दिए, छाती से गोली गई, फेफड़े फोड़ दिए, ये कैसी फौज है जो अपने ही नागरिकों को इस तरह से मारने के लिए। साधारणतः ऐसे रायट्स में आप पैरों पे गोलियां मारते हैं, और जब कभी बिल्कुल खतरा बढ़ जाए, आपकी जान पे आ जाए, तो शूटिंग ऑर्डर्स लेते हैं, तब करते हैं आप। जब आपकी जान पे आए तो आप शूट करेंगे। यहाँ तो किसी भी सैनिक दस्ते का, अर्धसैनिक दस्ते का कोई हताहत नहीं हुए, और इस तरफ से 4 और शायद 2-3 और जाएं, तो आप समझ सकते हैं कि इसमें गलत, आउट ऑफ प्रोपोर्शन फोर्स का यूज किया गया। इतना भारी, जैसे दुश्मन को आप जंग में मार रहे हैं, ऐसे अपने नागरिकों को मारना एक अच्छी सरकार की निशानी नहीं है।
वांगचुक साहब, यू आर नाउ सेइंग दैट आपको स्केप गोट की तरह इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है। अब आपकी एनजीओ की सीबीआई प्रोब भी स्टार्ट कर दी गई है। एलिगेशंस हैं कि फॉरेन फंडिंग मिली जो कि माल प्रैक्टिसेस के थ्रू आई। इस चीज़ को कैसे देख रहे हैं? और ठीक जिस तरीके से रिवॉल्यूशन हुआ कल, इतनी जाने गई, उसके ठीक बाद अगले दिन आपके खिलाफ सीबीआई जांच।
जी नहीं, सीबीआई जांच अभी नहीं हुई। ठीक अगले दिन एक प्रेस रिलीज देती है गृह मंत्रालय, भारत जैसे महान बड़े देश का गृह मंत्रालय प्रेस रिलीज देता है, जिसमें वो कहते हैं सोनम वांगचुक, सोनम वांगचुक। 3-4 बार सोनम वांगचुक, एक छोटे से इंसान पर वो पूरा दोष मढ़ते हैं। तो ये एक कड़ी का हिस्सा है, ये भी कल का वाला भी एक कड़ी का हिस्सा है। ये कोई 1.5 महीना पहले शुरू हुआ, जबकि लद्दाख के जो चुनाव हैं वो 2 महीने में आने वाले थे। ये वही चुनाव है जिसमें लोग मांग कर रहे हैं कि पिछले चुनाव का वादा पूरा कीजिए अगले में जाने से पहले। पिछले चुनाव का वादा था कि आपको 6वें शेड्यूल में लाएंगे, तो अब लोग मांग कर रहे थे इसे पूरा किए बिना हम आपको नहीं जाने देंगे। उनमें से बड़ी आवाज़ मेरी थी, तो मुझ पर उन्होंने निशाना साधा, और 1.5 महीना पहले हमें बताया गया कि आप पर एक FIR है, वो भी देशद्रोह का है। उसके बाद हमारे विद्यालय की ज़मीन वापस ले जा रहे हैं, ऐसा नोटिस आया। उसके बाद सीबीआई की इंक्वायरी, ये 2 हफ्ते पहले की बात है, सीबीआई की, फिर इनकम टैक्स के, पता नहीं क्या क्या। तो सीबीआई के नोटिस में ये लिखा है कि 2022 से 24 में आपकी संस्था ने विदेशी मुद्रा ग्रहण किया, जबकि आपके पास अनुमति नहीं है, FCRA नहीं है। हमने FCRA नहीं लिया क्योंकि हमारा इरादा नहीं है विदेशों से हम भीख मांगे, ठीक है। मगर 2000,
लेकिन आपने पैसे तो लिए।
हाँ, अब देखिए वो क्या पैसा है। ये किसी भी यूनिवर्सिटी का सपना होगा, और जो ये यूनिवर्सिटी करने में काबिल होगी उसे पुरस्कार दिया जाएगा कि उसका ज्ञान यानी कि भारत का ज्ञान विदेशों में निर्यात हो। तो हमारे जो पैसिव सोलर हीटेड बिल्डिंग्स है जो हमने लोगों के लिए, इंडियन आर्मी के लिए बनाए, वो अफगानिस्तान में ले जाना चाहते थे संयुक्त राष्ट्र संघ, यूनाइटेड नेशंस, और उन्होंने इसके लिए हमें फीस अदा की। उसी तरह हमारे आर्टिफिशियल ग्लेशियर्स को स्विट्ज़रलैंड की एक यूनिवर्सिटी और इटली के एक संस्था चाहते थे कि ये प्रोजेक्ट्स में प्रयोग किया जाए। उसके लिए हमें ज्ञान की दक्षिणा, फीस अदा की। वो फीस बाज़ाब्ता टैक्स के साथ है। आप जब चंदा लेते हैं उस पर टैक्स नहीं लगता है। ये सर्विस एग्रीमेंट है जो आपकी एक क्या कहते हैं, इज्जतदार नॉलेज पार्टनर किसी और को नॉलेज सप्लाई करता है। तो इसको फॉरेन कंट्रीब्यूशन नहीं कहते हैं। वो भी समझ गए कि उन्होंने गलती से इसे फॉरेन कंट्रीब्यूशन माना। मगर बंद करने के बजाय अब वो 22 से 24 के बजाय 21, 20 कहीं तो कुछ मिले ढूंढने लग गए। फिर हमारे जो छोटे बच्चों का विद्यालय है वहाँ चले गए, उससे मांगने लगे। ठीक है, मांगिए, आपको जो मिले ले लीजिए, मगर मैं ये कहता हूँ कि आपको ये
All right, there you have it. Sonam Wangchuk making clarifications, strong clarifications on some of these allegations coming to light, Brijesh, suggesting that there was in fact no FCRA license because we don't want foreign money. What we did receive was the fee by the virtue of service agreements that we had signed with the United Nations.
Well, yes, Sonam Wangchuk is explaining about the accusations which has been leveled by the government of India, which the MHA is, quoting as the reason behind cancellation of his FCRA. But it seems that, there's clearly a line now between Sonam Wangchuk and the government of India with the kind of alacrity with which this particular decision was taken and the way government is now treating Sonam Wangchuk as a hostile entity as far as someone who's fomented this entire violence which happened yesterday. It's clear that the situation between the equation between Sonam Wangchuk and government of India has taken a turn down for worse. But the fact of the matter is that yes, this particular issue is there. There has been violence yesterday. The government has been doubling down on Sonam Wangchuk. But the bigger question, the macro picture still remains unclear. How exactly the government intends to go forward as far as putting Ladakh in the Schedule 6 of the Constitution, and also what will happen about the demand of granting statehood to Ladakh, then how the government intends to navigate through these two demands, because in the Hills Committee elections in 2020, the BJP made these two promises, and this is the reason many were asking party about what happened to those promises which were made by you in 2020. Elections, Hill Council elections are around the corner, so it'll be extremely interesting to see how this particular violence pans out as far as those elections are concerned. And it'll be very interesting to see what is the composition of the group which is likely to meet the Ministry of Home Affairs on the 6th of October, which is the slated date as far as the meeting between MHA and the people from the hills are concerned. So all of these, which is turning out, it is very clear that right now there is a complete impasse between Sonam Wangchuk on one side and the government of India on one side, and both sides are not willing to budge even an inch.
All right, no side is budging. As a matter of fact, it does look like right now situation is getting increasingly serious when it comes to Sonam Wangchuk's position. My colleague Kartikeya Sharma also joining us. Kartikeya, all the allegations that the government is making by the way of FCRA violations cast a serious doubt on Sonam Wangchuk's and his NGO ambitions and activism.
You see, it's a very serious issue because not only Wangchuk, the license has been cancelled. Those are the issues of financial irregularity. You have to understand why Centre has become so agitated on the issue. One, the whole Gen Z issue was raised. Second, Ladakh is a union territory which has border with both China and Pakistan. That's number two. Number three, the matter in itself becomes sensitive because after abrogation of Article 370, and if people are saying that they are feeling disempowered, you are actually trying to create a parallel discourse that 370 led to disempowerment of people. So, this is just this is not a story only about, or this is not a news development only about people protesting about greater autonomy. This is like a counter narrative, and you're trying to say that the people got disempowered. And lastly, and most importantly, you see, it's for the police to find out whether there were foreign elements, Nepalis, instigation. Violence has happened in a very politically sensitive area. Ladakh is not like any other state. Ladakh is not Madhya Pradesh or Chhattisgarh. Ladakh is the frontier. It is one part where the Indian Army is deployed. You cannot have unrest in Ladakh of any kind.
Absolutely, and that is exactly what has miffed the centre at this point. Also joining us on the show is Nirmal Singh, former Jammu and Kashmir Deputy Chief Minister. Nirmal Singh, thank you very much, sir, for taking time out. I have to ask you, what are you making of what's transpiring in Leh? On one side, we have people of Leh who seem to be disenfranchised or feeling perhaps at this point, disempowered as a result of not being meted, the demands not being meted in the past many months that they've been protesting. On the other side, the government now taking swift action against those who were responsible for the violence that unfolded yesterday.
I am sorry that I couldn't understand that how the people of Ladakh has been disenfranchised. They are electing their MP, they are electing their council, though they don't have this assembly, but they are participating in three-tier system in parliament, so they are being empowered. They have been empowered. And that was the demand. Right from Kaushik Bakaula, the only demand which the people of Ladakh was having, UT. And Modi government has given that UT to Ladakh after abrogation of Article 370 and ultimately going for a reorganization of the state. So they were happy. But looking at the violence which is there, and the way the Congress people, they are exploiting the situation, they are equating it with the Nepal violence and instigating, and the instigation has come from Rahul Gandhi. This is very unfortunate. If you ask this Ladakhi, he was feeling happy, and the way this education has been expanded, university has been established, and all these development activities, they were going on since 2014. It was not there earlier. But Pakistan, this Congress is not digesting all this. And they have chosen a place which is most sensitive, I don't know whether you know this, the border with this China or not, but we have visited all these areas because I belong to this state, the state only. Then I was deputy CM. This border is very porous. And there is an instigation from China also. And now they are, you can say, using this, all this violence to give message to the world over that Ladakhis, they are not happy. Our leader,
let me then quickly ask you, what is your sense of what's happening on ground? Do you think people are happy and this is just politically motivated?
Yes, this is politically motivated, and though they were demanding this statehood, which is their democratic right, but this is not the way to achieve that. Even Jammu, a good number of people from Jammu, they have sentiment for statehood for Jammu only. But this is not the way.
So people are demanding statehood. No, I agree 100%. Violence is not the way, but people are demanding statehood, sir. These are genuine voices demanding statehood. Violence is not the way.
Oh, yes, yes. And, you know, I'll give you one example. Thupshan Swang, who is the tallest leader of Ladakh, he has withdrawn from there. Even Rigzing Zora, who was a leader in this Congress, he's not there. Even Sheneng Dorje, who was minister with us, he's not there. All these people, they have withdrawn. And definitely there is there seems to be some conspiracy, bigger conspiracy, which doesn't have roots in not only in Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, in China and other areas of the world also.
All right.
It's a bigger conspiracy.
All right, Dr. Nirmal Singh was the former Jammu and Kashmir Deputy Chief Minister, saying that it's a bigger conspiracy at play and the government will of course have to unravel the mystery of that conspiracy. It is taking action as we speak. Thank you very much, sir.